What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to the brother Kirk Dukes for the $10 donation via the Cash App. Much respect to him for showing love. Once again, becoming a very dedicated subscriber. I really, truly appreciate it, man. Shout out once again for showing love to the channel. Alright, so look. I think you guys have probably heard about this. I'm going to talk about this in one of my next videos. There's an ongoing tour that's going on, I think, in Australia involving Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley. And you're going to see another rehashing of The Last Dance. So I guess all three of those guys feel as if though Michael Jordan didn't portray them correctly in The Last Dance, so I don't know whether they're going to go and... I mean, it's pretty much a given that they're going to probably say some slanderous, controversial things about Jordan and some of these other guys. I already heard Horace Grant slander Dennis Rodman. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm reading from an article from fadeawayworld.net. And this article was written by, oh my goodness, man, what name is this? Vishwisha Kumar. And it's titled, Phil Jackson's insights about Scottie Pippen's dark side resurfaces in his feud with Michael Jordan. And it says, Phil Jackson's recent remarks about Scottie Pippen's temperament shed light on the complexities of Pippen's personality, particularly in relation to his famed feud with Michael Jordan. So Phil goes, my trainer, Chip Schaefer, says, 362 days out of the year, Scottie Pippen goes along as a model citizen, and everything's working quite well for him, and he's in a great mood. But those other 2 or 3 days, he can be the downest, darkest person there possibly can be. Jackson, known as the Zen Master for his ability to navigate the intricate dynamics of the Chicago Bulls, offered insights into Pippen's occasional dark side, suggesting it was a facet rarely seen but impactful when it emerged. You don't know where it came from or what happened, but there's a dark side to him that rarely surfaces, and when it does, it draws attention to itself. Well, I would imagine that Scottie is generally an easygoing guy. But I believe that he does have his baggage like anybody else, and I think that it often bothered him that when he came to the Chicago Bulls, he had to totally readjust to the pecking order. This is a guy that worked really hard, Scottie Pippen, to get what he got in college, to get to that status, to the point where he was drafted drafted in the NBA by Chicago. Well, actually drafted by the Sonics and then traded to the Chicago Bulls and for Olden Polynice. But it's quite an experience playing alongside Michael Jordan and ultimately in Michael Jordan's shadow. Because make no mistake about it, even though we get on Scottie Pippen and some of his fan base for overrating him, in his prime, he was one of the best all-around players in the NBA. I never take that away from him. I just get annoyed when some of the Jordan haters like to all of a sudden retroactively proclaim him better than Mike, which is absolute BS. But, another thing that I think probably rubs Scottie the wrong way, and I have to blame people like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith and a few others for this. About 15 years ago, I'd say, when those guys began to rise in sports talk, because before them, sports talk was a little bit more intelligent. They started using Scottie Pippen as the poster child for second banana or sidekick, but they used it in a way where it was almost like an insult. It was an insult to be a Scottie Pippen, and I'm pretty sure that weighed on him after a while. No matter how much Michael Jordan praised him or anybody praised him, it just weighed on him. And I think The Last Dance, in his mind, was the last straw. Now, granted, having said all these things to kind of defend Scottie a little bit, Scottie, to me, his animus should not be toward Michael Jordan. His animus should be toward those in the media who like to throw rocks and then hide their hands and point at others. They do this all the time. Like, for instance, the media never tells you that they ask these athletes these questions to get a reaction out of them, and then only report what they say and never record what they asked them. They set these people up. The Fourth Estate is a very sneaky group. You know what I'm saying? And they look out for one another. They look out for one another. Me and the brother LB was talking the other day about how, you know, it's interesting how players like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, who the mainstream media hated, are not in the Hall of Fame. But it's interesting that David Ortiz, who was once found guilty of using PEDs, at least once, I think, maybe twice, he's in the Hall of Fame. And part of that is he was very friendly and accessible to the media. Another part of it is he has ties to the media. And another part of it, he plays for one of the best, one of the most loved teams in the media, especially the Northeast media, the Boston area, the Red Sox. So yeah, Scottie's animus should be more toward the media because they, to me, have twisted his legacy to what it is. And I've looked at The Last Dance quite a few times, and I thought that Scottie Pippen's depiction was very fair. If there's anybody that should have a vice, or anybody, not a vice, excuse me, anybody should have a conniption about how they're portrayed in that damn thing, it should be Luke Longley. Because he was barely mentioned. But other ones, nah. Anyway, that's just my take on it, at least. Tell me what you guys think.